in Capital News tonight. Kigongo-Busisi Bridge construction agreement signed in Dar es Salaam. Muhimbili Orthopedic Hospital MOI starts incision-free brain surgeries. And in sports, Simba Sports Club launches Sports Pesa Simba Week 2019. Good evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Vanessa Victor. Let's get started with the national news. The Minister of Works, Transport and Communication, Isaac Kamwelwe, has warned leaders and politicians who interfere with tender processes announced by the government. Minister Kamwelwe gave the warning in Dar es Salaam during the signing of an agreement for construction of the 3.2-kilometer Kigongo-Busisi Bridge in Mwanza.
Sasa hivi inakuwa ni tabia tenda ikishatangazwa.
It has become common practice for when a tender is announced for some people to come and claim to be helping the contractor so they can get money. It is uncouth. Some are leaders just like me. There is PPRA. There is also guidelines on awarding tenders. And there are evaluation committees according to the regulations set.
Daraja hili ndiko linakujengwa.
We are ready to receive this project, and so are the people. We'll make sure all the necessary support is given to make the construction of this bridge a success.
Lolote lile linalohitajika ili kufanikisha ujenzi wa daraja hili.
Muhimbili Orthopedic Institute has started to conduct incision-free surgeries to remove brain tumours. Speaking in Dar es Salaam, the Deputy Minister of Health, Community Development, Gender and Children, Dr. Faustin Ndugulile, said the latest developments are measures being taken to improve the health sector.
The objective of this training is to learn together. We have our colleagues from Colorado who have come to assist us in this training. This is in line with the government's objective to enhance core services, and we are laying infrastructure in place as well as setting aside finance, more than 7.9 billion to install modern infrastructure which will enable Tanzanians to access these services.
Kuweka mifumo ya kisasa kabisa ambayo sasa itakuwezesha Watanzania kupata huduma za kibingwa sana.
Chief Secretary Ambassador Dr. John Kijauzi said that the government is satisfied with preparations for the 39th Southern Africa Development Community SADC Summit that will be held between the 17th and 18th of August in Dar es Salaam.
We are here just to meet with our colleagues in the Tanzania Preparatory Committee for the summit to just see where we are in terms of preparations for the summit. We've been here before. This is the last preparatory meeting that we are having, and so far we can see that most of the things are in place. We are ready for the summit.
Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa has visited the site for construction of Ruangwa District Hospital in Lindi region and expressed satisfaction on the progress made. He said that completion of the hospital will reduce the number of patients going to Ndanda Hospital for medical services.
I would like to say that the hospital currently being built here will have all that is required to provide satisfactory services. I can see that this is an area for the maternity ward, while there are also other areas such as that one there for the laboratories. The progress achieved so far is something that we must be proud of, as we are showing that we are carrying out the job given to us. I would like to encourage you to work hard so that once the minister has given us a set deadline to finish the work, that we can finish everything by that date. Now, as for the municipal council, I would like to call on you to clean this area and also the surrounding areas so that this place can seem attractive.
People with hearing impairments in Njombe region have called on society to stop marginalizing them on various social services and urged the government to include sign language in the education curriculum from primary to higher education levels.
Kwa hiyo jamii ya viziwi wanakabiliwa na changamoto nyingi. Changamoto ya kwanza kabisa kwenye maisha ya kawaida.
We face segregation. There is no communication between those who are deaf and the rest of the population. A deaf person is discriminated upon as if he is incapable of doing anything right. Once we've understood the teacher, then we can go back and study better. A student cannot pass if he doesn't understand the teacher. Students cannot pass if there is no guidance from the teacher. One major challenge we face is having no specialized teachers. We have to look what the government, through local government authorities, is doing to help deaf people. Our organization is focused on deaf people so we can address what challenges they face, but also those faced by local government officials.
The Minister of Energy, Dr. Medit Kalimani, has directed Kalapataru company that was given the tender of the 400 kV power line project from Singida, Manyara to Namanga in Arusha region, which will connect electricity with neighboring Kenya to return half of the electricity cables imported from India after being found that they were substandard. He gave the directive after touring the warehouse where equipment for the power project is being stored at Nangwa village in Hanang district, Manyara region.
I insisted that for rare and TANESCO projects, we want standards approved by TBS. We want projects to be done well and completed on time. This item here must be returned immediately. There was no electricity because a part was missing. You must have stock here to be replaced when needed. The engineer brings the items, and once it arrives here, it is inspected. And if there is any fault, it is sent back.
Opposition NCCR Mageuzi Party has announced its new leadership after Vunjo Member of Parliament in Kilimanjaro region, James Mbatia, was re-elected as the chairman of the party.
We decided not to make any changes, but every issue has to be evaluated in 4 aspects: humanity, soundness of mind, time and finance.
Dar es Salaam Region Commissioner Paul Makondas called on the government and private sector institutions to ensure they keep their environments clean and directed motorists and passengers not to throw rubbish in various parts of the Dar es Salaam city. He gave the directive on launching an environment cleanliness campaign at Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere International Airport a few days before the 39th SADC Summit takes place.
When we invest a lot of effort in keeping our city clean, they do everything to make it difficult. Some could demand for a dustbin, but when one is provided, they choose not to use it or use it incorrectly. There are those who dispose of rubbish illegally at night. It is my hope that we will do our best in our effort to keep our city clean. We've set aside today to keep our city clean in our municipal councils and through the regional commissioner's office. There are projects to keep Dar es Salaam clean. However, we've decided to scale up this exercise. Now we have health officers and at least 600 JKT officers, and we've added more equipment.
ofisi ya mshauri wa mgambo, vijana wa mgambo.
Kiambu Governor, and that is all for the national news. I apologize for that. International news follows next. And in international news, Kiambu Governor in Kenya, Ferdinand Waititu, was on Monday charged with 6 counts of over 580 million shilling irregular tender. Governor Waititu has been charged alongside his wife, Susan Wangari Ndugu, and 8 others at Milimani Law Court following a recommendation by the Director of Public Prosecutions, Nordine Haji, last Friday. The governor was accused of conflict of interest and dealing with suspect property.
Until tomorrow, 10:30, tomorrow for the ruling.
More than 152 families in Buterere Ward, Bujumbura in Burundi, who are victims of floods caused by heavy rains in December last year, have received food aid from the Red Cross Society in collaboration with the Embassy of China. Chinese ambassador in Burundi, Li Changlin, said that the food aid is implementation of China's new policy, which aims to support communities in need.
We are very thankful to receive the aid, as all of our things had been swept away by the water. May God bless you. We ask those who ran away to come back, as the ward is now safe and peaceful. From now on and in the future, we want to do things that directly go into the interests of the public so as to strengthen our relationship in all areas.
Minority leader in Uganda's parliament, Betty Awol Ochana, said that FDC opposition party and People's Power Movement under Bobi Wine are holding talks on a single candidate in the coming general elections. This comes when the opposition appear to be divided after formation of a campaign committee formed by Bobi Wine last week.
We still want to have a coalition. That's why one time I said, a coalition, if we have to form a coalition, it cannot be in DP headquarters, it cannot be in FDC headquarters, cannot be in UPC headquarters or JEMA or those parties in opposition. But it has to be a neutral ground where we can have dialogue, and then we see how we can have a structure and even a process of really working together without killing those parties, because parties are instrument of multi-party democracy.
An attack this weekend by suspected Boko Haram fighters on a funeral in the northeastern state of Borno, Nigeria, has left at least 65 people dead, almost 3 times the initial toll. Here are more details.
Dozens more bodies were discovered on Sunday following the assault a day before by gunmen on a village close to the regional capital, Maiduguri. The leader of a local anti-Boko Haram militia confirmed the death toll, giving a slightly different account of the attack. Bonu Bukar Mustaf said that 23 people were killed as they returned from the funeral, and the remaining 42 were killed when they pursued the terrorists.
And that's where we leave off with international news, but business news follows after this break.
Watch Business Edition as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
To be rich, I have to be a business person.
It's not an easy road at all.
People need to understand. You must quickly think, how cost effective are you going to be?
Business acts as a way in which it can bridge that gap.
Business Edition will keep you informed on latest developments in the financial sector. extractive industry, tourism, agriculture, energy, construction, and so much more. Meet entrepreneurs who create employment opportunities. Watch Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
Welcome back and on to business news. A group of 120 tourists from Hong Kong, China have arrived in the country to tour various national parks. The Deputy Minister of Natural Resources and Tourism, Constantine Kanyasu, said the visit is an implementation of a government strategy aimed at increasing the number of tourists visiting various tourist attractions in the country.
These are the first tourists who started to come in last night from Hong Kong, and this is a new market that we're creating for Tanzania. They will be here until the 4th. There are also businessmen among this group, so on the 2nd, they will get to meet and speak with Tanzanian entrepreneurs.
Karibu Tanzania, and unforgettable and nzuri sana.
And tea farmers from Busokelo Municipal in Rungwe District, Mbeya region, have called on the government to intervene on tea prices, claiming the amounts they are paid does not cover production costs incurred.
I am distraught over this because where I work, the salary is small. I ask you to take my request, please, to President Magufuli, and then maybe I may get an increase. In 2015, when you voted for us to serve you tea, which had a price of 231 shillings per kilo, and then it rose to 240 shillings, and even now we sell the unprocessed tea leaves at 315 shillings per kilo. However, this is still not enough, and so I will work on it.
Despite there being fertilizer industries in the country, Tanzania Fertilizer Regulatory Authority says Tanzania faces shortage of fertilizer and that 90% of the fertilizer in the market is imported into the country.
A big percentage of fertilizers used in the country come from outside the country. This also contributes to an increase in prices, and small factories in the country make a small amount. There are those who have shown an interest in investing in fertilizers, so you can look for a way to enter into joint ventures with such firms. You can look for a way to enter into joint ventures with such firms.
That's all for business news. Sports is next.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's being dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's being dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Joaquinho. He did lose to Lend.
And in sports news, the management of Simba Sports Club has launched Simba Week, known as Sport Pesa Simba Week 2019, which will officially start on August 1st and climax on the 6th at the National Stadium with a friendly game between Simba and Power Dynamos of Zambia.
Ni siku ya Jumatano ambapo kwanza wachezaji wetu wale kambini kwa South Africa watarejea hapa Dar es Salaam.
First of all, our players at the camp in South Africa will return so that on the 31st, the Power Dynamos will come to Dar es Salaam using Air Tanzania.
Katika mfumo mpya wa makundi wataingia Dar es Salaam wakitumia shirika la ndege la Tanzania.
Ni kipindi ambacho kusema kweli wa Simba wanaonyesha wachezaji wao.
This will be the time where Simba shows off their players, but there will also be many other activities that Sport Pesa will be happy to be involved in.
Na mazuri ya kikazi kati ya Simba Sports Club na Sport Pesa.
The National Sports Council has said they have called on the new leadership overseeing Shotokan karate in the country to hold elections to fill in the position of vice chair and its 4 members.
Nafasi ya makamu mwenyekiti aliweza kuwasilisha fomu zake, lakini hakuweza kufika kwenye usaili wala kwenye uchaguzi. Hivyo basi tukawa tumemuondoa. Lakini pia kuna nafasi za wajumbe, wanatakiwa wawe wajumbe 7, lakini mpaka sasa hivi wako wajumbe 3. Kwa hiyo baraza limeiagiza uongozi mpya watashoka kuweza kufanya uchaguzi mdogo ambao watatuandikia sisi barua.
Olympic champion Delilah Muhammad broke the 400-meter hurdles world record on the final day of the U.S. National Championships in Iowa. Here is more on the report.
29-year-old took more than a tenth of a second off a record that had stood for 16 years, clocking 52.20 seconds to beat Russian Yulia Penchokina's previous mark of 52.34. 19-year-old Sydney McLaughlin was second in 52.88 and Ashley Spencer third in 53.11. All 3 qualified for the World Championships in Doha in September, where they will be joined by reigning world champion Corey Carter in a formidable U.S. quartet.
On Tuesday, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer returns to Norway with his Manchester United team for the first time for a friendly match against his hometown team, Kristiansand, in Oslo. Here is more.
With less than 2 weeks until the Premier League season starts and only 2 friendlies remaining, Solskjaer has yet to make any big-name signing, a significant departure from the approach of his predecessors. Also absent have been avoidable headlines and controversies. Instead, the 46-year-old has gone about his work in a quiet, understated way, completely at odds with the tenures of Jose Mourinho and Louis van Gaal. The status of those 2 men within the game ensued. United ensured United were box office, even if the actual team were not.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin. My name is Vanessa Victor. Thank you for watching and have a good night.